Re-engage UK. So thank you all so much for coming along and celebrating with us, because it makes it so much more special. So, 10 years ago this month, we started Thurrock 1 when it was called Contact the Elderly. A few of you will remember Contact the Elderly. It was then taken over by Re-engage, and we launched Thurrock 1 in St Clement's Church in West Thurrock, which was featured in 4 Weddings and a Funeral. And from then on, fast forwarding 10 years, where we are now, we now have 90 tea party guests, supported by 80 amazing volunteers. They're the ones that need the clap. So currently we have Thurrock 9, which will be launched in October. Next year we'll be launching Thurrock 10 in the new year. We have 19 guests on our waiting list. Maggie has a big job there, she's going out to visit them all. So we always visit our guests first before they come in, to make sure they feel okay and they're confident and happy about coming. So if we launch Thurrock 10 and Thurrock 11 next year, which we will, we need at least 12 minimum volunteer drivers. So if anyone in the room knows anybody that would like to drive for us, it's only 4 hours once a month. So not a lot of hours, but a great deal of pleasure. As you can see today, have these events today. So our success in Thurrock is entirely down to our volunteers and also to our incredible local businesses and community groups. If you hadn't been supporting us over the years, we would not have been here at all. So we're so very grateful, and you are mostly in this room. So can we give a big applause, please, for our local businesses and community groups? So actually today, which is rare, my friend Sue Kane is here. She won't like me saying this. Sue Kane, right from the beginning of us launching our first tea party, let us use Heaton Hall in Civic Place free of charge through Thurrock Borough Council whenever we wanted it, and basically we have used that every Sunday. Had we not been able to do that, through the challenges of COVID, we would not have kept going. So a lot of this goes to Sue, because she enabled us to have somewhere to do tea parties. So finally, I just want to say a big thank you to our tea party guests, because they're amazing and we love them so much. And for me, our volunteers and our tea party guests are the most precious. They are the most precious things, and that's what it all means to us. Thank you. So I'm now going to hand you over to Lee, who's the head of fundraising in Re-engage, and he's now going to say a few words.
Thank you. Lorraine, thank you. Having recently broken my wrist, that was one of the nicest things and also the most painful thing I've done for a long time, in applauding your efforts. It's just incredible, thank you. If I could just say thank you to Madam Mayor and to Jane Craft MP for Thurrock for coming. I'm Lee, I work for Re-engage, I'm the head of fundraising. And 20 years ago I was Lee and I worked for Contact the Elderly. So I've been involved with Contact the Elderly and Re-engage for nearly 20 years. And I'm here because of 4 people. First, Lorraine, thank you for the invitation, that's lovely. I'm also here because of someone called Bill, someone called Pat, and someone called Trevor, and they're all remarkable in their own ways. and I'll just tell you a little bit about them. So Bill, that's William Lloyd, my granddad. Now, when I was young, I only ever knew him as someone who cared for my nan, who had rheumatoid arthritis, and every Sunday we visited. And I was that 10-year-old boy sitting in the corner reading whilst everyone spoke, and he went to the boating lake, which was the thing he loved. And then I got older, we all got older. My nan sadly died, he moved to a bungalow. When I went to his funeral, there was me, my sister, my mum, my dad, and someone from the boating lake who was there. And everything I do, I think about him. Then, nearly 20 years ago, I started becoming a volunteer driver for Contact the Elderly. And I started picking up Pat, who I drove her for 6 years. Now she had no children, her husband had died. Her health was failing. And then the Aylesbury Tea Party launched. And I just passed my test. And I collected Pat every Sunday for 6 years. From me being a nervous driver, with Pat sitting next to me as I take my breath, hoping that the lights would take longer to change because I always failed. Going out to host houses which I didn't know where they were, so we'd get lost together. We laughed so much. And over those 6 years, what did Pat have? She made new friends. We had a fabulous relationship. She had something to look forward to every month. I bought this stick because I once said to Pat, on eBay I bought myself a stick stand, but I haven't got any sticks. The next Sunday, Pat said, here you go, have this. And it had been in her family. It was this beautiful carved Victorian walking stick which she gave for me. When my son was born, what was Bill was the first person he saw when he came back from hospital. We went round to Pat. He was one of the first people to see my son George, because we became family. So my granddad, whose life got smaller, and then Pat, whose life blossomed. And what was the difference? It was the third person I'm going to talk about, a man called Trevor Littleton, who founded Contact the Elderly, which became Re-Engage. In April 1965, Trevor was a young man in his mid-20s. He lived in Marylebone, living a young man's life in London. And then he realised that one of his neighbours didn't go out much. And he made inquiries and spoke to a social worker called Jean. And she said, Trevor, did you know there's 6,000 lonely older people living around this area and they don't see anyone? And he thought, I need to do something about this. So he asked her, they provided details of 12 people. He got 12 friends, they took 6 cars and went to Hampton Court for a lovely day out. And he came back and he said, Jean, it's great, you had a fabulous time. And she said, Trevor, you can't just do it the once. Which we all know that's the case. You can't just do it the once. Now, some people would go, well, I'm going to do it the once. I'm a young man living in London, I'm going to live my life. But not Trevor. He took it to heart, he created a charity, he built an army of volunteers, and they met regularly. And by the time he retired from being chair of our trustees, there were 600 Re-Engage or Contact the Elderly tea parties across the country. So what's that? That's millions of warm smiles, shared laughter, hugs, gossip and kindness because of this man, because of Trevor. And the funny thing is, 60 years ago, if you said you were going to do a tea party, they would say, that's nice. But today, it seems so much more. The World Health Organization, the top scientists in the world, have recently, in June, this is 2 months ago, recently released a report which said that health should be considered as 3 elements: mental health, physical health, social interaction. Finally, 60 years after Trevor said we should get together and meet in person, the scientists and the government are saying it's a good thing too. There's just been a new all-party parliamentary group about loneliness. People with decisions, people with money are actually saying it's really important that we do this. We come together. And I think Trevor was just 6 years ahead of his time. So let's celebrate our 60th, but we're not going to go into retirement. Lorraine, like yourself, you'll plan to launch more groups in Thurrock and help more people, and so is the whole of Re-Engage. By our 65th birthday, we want to be reaching 15,000 older people every month. At the minute, it's about six or seven. So we want to more than double in size, and you're a huge part of this. So thank you. So I just want to say a few thanks. So Madam Mayor and Jen Craft MP for giving up your Sundays, thank you. For our beautiful venue and delicious food. For our singer, I wasn't expecting to have entertainment, it's amazing. For the businesses who contributed the money so we can have today, brilliant. Lorraine. Was that a bow or was that a curtsy? I don't know, it was something. I'm just glad I didn't fall over. For all you do for bringing this magic to Thurrock. Congratulations for being a finalist at the BBC Essex Awards. And it says highly commended, it should be very highly commended, at least, but incredibly. To our super events planner, Paula, who arranged today and is also coordinating for the And finally, thank you to all the incredible volunteers. I was one of you for 6 years. I know how much time, money, effort you give. And I also know how much love, happiness and wonder you receive. You, all of you, transform lives. Thank you.
Me again. I've just got some thank yous. I've got a big thank you to Gordon, I can't remember where he's sitting now, who made this spectacular cake and managed to get it all the way from Norfolk to Essex, completely perfect. In the old days, Gordon would make cakes for us on a regular basis, and we would pick them up from his house and we'd take them to tea parties. So a big round of applause for Gordon, who's still doing it now. And I think we should just say a thank you to the staff of the Plough today for serving our meal and having such a lovely time here. So a round of applause maybe for them. And finally, our lovely Paula, who has dedicated so many hours to getting this done. I don't even know how she's done it, but I'm having a breakdown, seriously. So a really big thank you to Paula.